We're going to share with you this exciting new resource that we've created, which is No-Tech Phonics. So this is an ideal project for you if technology is not readily available when you're delivering your phonics program. In this session, we're going to be covering what exactly No-Tech Phonics is, what resources we've made, what's available to you, and we're also going to share an example of a No-Tech Phonics lesson walkthrough, and then there'll be some time at the end to answer any questions you may have. So first of all, just as a quick summary, Twinkl Phonics, and whether or not you're familiar with it, is our DFE validated SSP program. So we have GPC phoneme, grapheme phoneme correspondences and tricky uncommon exception words taught in a very specific order as you would find in any other synthetic systematic phonics program. Twinkl Phonics is story-based, so this enables the teaching of phonics skills to be embedded, really engaging and contextualized for learners. Twinkl Phonics is well-resourced with core provision that needs to be used to show fidelity to the Twinkl Phonics program, including lesson presentations, workbooks, and reading mini-books. It's also resourced with wider provisions such as follow-up activities, songs, spelling bookmarks, parent sheets. We feel that all these resources really complement the core provision, but essentially it's up to you whether you choose to use them in your settings. Twinkl Phonics is also multisensory. So this approach provides hooks for learners to be actively engaged in their learning, and we try to cater to a wide range of learning styles. Twinkl Phonics is also comprehensively planned, so you can find top-level planning overviews and more detailed weekly planning for all levels of the Twinkl Phonics program. So let's look a bit more at what is this new No-Tech Phonics. So No-Tech Phonics is our flexible alternative for delivering a Twinkl Phonics lesson without an interactive whiteboard or computer screen. So it replaces the lesson presentation element of our core provision, but maintains the same story-based approach at the same pace. So all of our writers, editors, and trainers here at Twinkl Phonics are experienced teachers. So we've delivered phonics in schools long before we created the program. And so we have some idea of the challenges that sometimes that can be posed. So the idea behind creating a tech-free alternative was for those groups or classes that you do not wish or cannot teach using an interactive whiteboard. So it might be something that you use with a whole class. It might be something you have small groups or even one-to-one. You might have phonics taking place in a hallway, in a library, perhaps in a spare classroom, or even some children that you might tutor from home. So if you have access to the main Twinkl Phonics program, then you can access No-Tech Phonics too. So on our site, you simply need to look out for this No-Tech sticker on all of our resources online. And we're shortly going to show you exactly where to find those on site as well. Now, when you download one of our No-Tech lesson packs, you will receive a fully scripted lesson guide following the same structure and story as the lesson presentation PowerPoint, an observations and assessment sheet, and a lesson-specific No-Tech supporting resources pack. At this moment, No-Tech is available for level 2. We've got that all on site now. Level 3 is expected to come in October, ready to follow straight on from level 2. And then level 4 should be coming in the spring of this academic year. So what this means is if you do start using No-Tech level 2 in this school year, level 3 and level 4 should be available at the appropriate times so that you should have No-Tech resources to cover your entire first year. So I want to have a quick look at the similarities and differences between the two alternatives. So first of all, some similarities to the main Twinkl Phonics program. So whether you're using lesson presentations or adopting the No-Tech Phonics, learners will all still follow the adventures of the Twinkl Phonics family with Kit, Sam, and Ben the dog. And you'll have that same story-based approach. The stories are the same, whether the children are in the lesson with the lesson presentation or in a No-Tech lesson. So if they do some lessons in one part and some lessons in the other part, they'll follow the same story and they won't miss out anything that their friends have learned on the same day. Both approaches also contain the familiar 5-part lesson structure covering the same learning outcomes. So you'll have a revisit and review, teach, practice, apply, and opportunities to assess within the lesson. There are also a multitude of supporting resources available to supplement both the original program and the No-Tech versions. And the other elements of the core provision, which include reading mini-books and pupil workbooks, are still utilised in both approaches and fit perfectly well whether you're using the No-Tech or the lesson presentation approach. And then onto what is different when it comes to using the no-tech version. So no-tech Phonics covers the same lesson objectives as the original program. However, no-tech uses physical resources rather than requiring an interactive whiteboard. So the lesson presentation for each lesson is replaced with practical teaching and learning activities. So for example, in Revisit and Review, instead of a Sam Sounds animated slide, which you can see Becky using here on the left-hand side, you'd be preparing and showing a set of flashcards for yourself. So when it comes to the story, and you can see Ian doing that in the example as well. And then when it comes to the story, instead of working through the story slides on the board, you'd read it off the lesson guide supported by colorfully illustrated story cards, again, like you can see Ian doing on the right-hand side over there. So you might utilize a small display like he has. You could also hold up the resources as needed, place them on a table or a workspace. You'd be doing all these things physically and interactively with the children. So it's just a different sort of approach to teaching phonics to how you would be doing it if you're doing it on the board. So the two main resources that you'll need for a no-tech phonics lesson are the lesson pack itself and the prep kit. So let's have a quick look at what's included in the lesson pack first. So you will download the lesson pack, and there you'll find the lesson guide, an observations and assessment sheet, and a folder called no-tech supporting resources. Within that folder, you'll find the lesson-specific resources to deliver all the elements of the no-tech phonics session. So this will include story cards, as you can see on the left-hand side, decodable word cards, which are mostly used in the teach or practice sections of the lesson, caption time cards you can see on the right-hand side for the apply element of the lesson, and then practice activity resources, which will vary from lesson to lesson. So much like in the lessons on the board, if you're using the PowerPoints, you have practice activities that involve some interactive elements where the children practice the skills they've learned. Those are done in a more practical way, with children using word cards, flashcards, picture cards, matching activities, those sorts of things will be done in a more physical, hands-on way. Now, these resources will need to be prepared prior to delivering the session. So it's just to be aware there's a little bit more prep involved, but obviously you don't have the whiteboard lesson going on behind you. The other main resource that you'll need for each lesson is the no-tech phonics prep kit. So yeah, there are some resources which will be utilized throughout the entirety of the level, and we've put all of these in one place and called it the prep kit. So this provides you with everything else that you will need to deliver no-tech sessions. It is an essential set of resources and will also require a little bit of prep before you come to deliver your lessons. And there'll be a separate prep kit for each level. At the moment, the level 2 kit is on site. So we do recommend preparing a grab and go box prior to starting a new level. Then when using no-tech phonics, you'll have everything in one place, ready to deliver the session. So some of the resources that you'll find within that prep kit include double-sided GPC and mnemonic flashcards. You'll find double-sided tricky and common exception word cards, phoneme fans, lots more. There's also our fantastic 3D robot Rick model that you can cut and make, which you can use in some of the practice activities as well. I'm going to hand over to Beth in just a minute, and she's going to help have a look a bit more detail at the prep kit and take us through a short lesson walkthrough.
Lovely, thank you, Simon. So as Simon mentioned, it's our recommendation that you get your prep kit ready ahead of time so that you've got those supporting resources that can be used throughout the level ready. And we do have an example of a grab box that you could create. So we'll take a little look at that now. It is our recommendation that you get your prep kit ready ahead of time. You could create a grab box. We will see an example of a grab box now created by one of our trainers using the downloadable resources from the prep kit. Going into the prep kit, we have a 3D robot Rick, which will be used in various activities throughout Level 2 no-tech phonics. GPC flashcards. The active repetition method script used for introducing tricky and common exception words, mnemonic sound maps for each learner, phoneme frames, level 2 action cards, large tracing letters, magnetic letters and whiteboards and pens This prep kit is now ready to support with the delivery of No-Tech Phonics Level 2. Okay, so a very quick example of a prep kit grab box that has been prepared that would then go alongside those daily lesson resources as well. So another essential download is that lesson guide for No-Tech Phonics, which is essentially the script to facilitate the delivery of that No-Tech lesson. But there are some key features within that document. So we've got focus words, which can be found at the top of the lesson guides and weekly plans, and they are used within the lesson. These may slightly differ to the words within the lesson presentations. The resource list highlights everything that you'll require for your lesson. It states whether the resources can be found in the No-Tech Prep Kit, in your lesson, or supporting resources. Teaching tips, just like within the lesson presentations, Kit's teaching tips give useful suggestions for the adult delivering the lesson. Resources needed are thumbnail images and the titles of any resources that will be needed for each part of the lesson. These have been added to give a quick reference so that you can scan down and see what you will need at a glance. And our bold text has been added into the lesson guides as a prompt, which is text for the adult to read aloud. So all resources are available to deliver No-Tech Phonics for Level 2 now, which includes a really useful blog page that outlines the No-Tech Phonics approach in detail. Adult guidance to support you getting started and support you as you deliver Level 2 No-Tech. As mentioned, the Level 2 Prep Kit, as described, an essential resource to use to help prepare you for that delivery of No-Tech Phonics effortlessly. An overview of Level 2, which allows you to see the order of progression, what is being taught when. This document is the same, however you choose to deliver your phonics lessons using that lesson presentation or No-Tech Phonics. The Level 2 assessment pack enables you to thoroughly assess your learners to establish what their next steps might be. Plus, if you would like to enhance your teaching of No-Tech Phonics, you may wish to explore our Twinkl Phonics store, where you can purchase Level 2 GPC flashcards, Level 2 Tricky Word flashcards, Kit and Sam dolls, plus many more exciting resources as well. So I'm now going to show you how we can locate the No-Tech Phonics resources. So for that, I'm just going to share my screen over onto the Twinkl homepage. So we're going to start by going to the Twinkl Phonics landing page. So into our search bar, we're going to type Phonics and select that colourful logo. Once we have come to our Twinkl Phonics landing page, we can straight away see a lovely orange image on this top left-hand side here that says discover our Level 2 No-Tech lesson packs. So we're going to simply click onto that image and it will bring us over to the No-Tech Phonics resources, where you can filter by week for Level 2 on the left-hand side, and that will bring up the resources which are needed for that specific week. Also, keep an eye out when you are on this page for this colourful resource picture here, which will take you to the No-Tech Phonics blog with lots of information in there all about the No-Tech Phonics resources. As we've previously mentioned, No-Tech Phonics lessons follow that same 5-part lesson structure as the main programme: revisit and review, teach, practice, apply and assess. Within lessons 1 to 4, introducing a new sound and have either a reading or spelling focus. And lesson 5, recapping the sounds taught that week and introducing a mini book as part of the apply section. We would like to round off this CPD this evening by sharing with you a sneak preview of a No-Tech Phonics lesson in action. This clip is hyperlinked so that after this session, you can watch the lesson in its entirety. Within the clip, you will notice the use of those physical resources, the active repetition method for the introduction of tricky words, and even a story being shared using those colourful story cards, which really set the context for the teaching and learning. So we will now watch this short clip.
D. G. O. K. K. Well done. I'm going to sound out each word and you need to tell me the word that is on the picture. Are you ready for the first one? Let's have a think of the first one. Are you ready? K, a, n. K, a, n. Can. Yes, it was a can. A picture of a can. I'm going to keep it safe and let Robot Rick gobble up the picture of the can. Here you go, Robot Rick. Gobble, 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 gobble. Let's try the next one. Are you ready? I'm going to be teaching you something that we call tricky words. Now, tricky words have parts of them that can't be sounded out, which means they are a little bit tricky. They're trying to catch us out. The first tricky word that I want to share with you is this one. And this is the tricky word to. My turn. To. Your turn. Yes, to. Now, let's think about what to means by putting it in a sentence. Now, I wonder if there's anything in this word, the tricky word to, that we already know. Oh, the first letter in the tricky word to is making the t sound. I don't think that's the tricky bit. I don't think that bit's trying to catch us out. T, oo. Hang on a minute. That's not making the o sound that we know. It's making a different sound. I think that's the tricky bit. T, oo, to. Yes, it is the tricky bit. So the t in to isn't tricky, but the letter here isn't making the o sound. It's actually making oo. T, oo, to. Let's find out about Sam's adventure. It was a lovely sunny day, so Sam and Mum took Ben for a walk in the park. Ben found a big stick in the park and carried it in his mouth. Ben was so excited. He dropped his stick in the pond. A duck picked up the stick and held it in its beak. Look, Mum, the duck is holding Ben's stick in its beak. It looks like it's making a stick. Laughed Sam. Wow, that cheeky Ben, and that cheeky duck too. I wonder if they've given us a clue to today's sound. Our action to go with today's sound is our duck's beak, and we go. Can you join in with me? Well done. Words that have the sound in them. So we've got it, kick. We've got it, tick. We've got sack, sack. Your turn. Sack. On your own. Well done. It does say sack. Let's find out a little bit more about Sam's adventure. Sam and Mum went to the shop and got some lettuce leaves so they could feed the ducks in the pond. I can see today's sound, our k sound, at the end of this word here. So that's what I've got to look out for. The d-o-g, dog, and a sock, sock. The dog and a sock. Let's have a look at that picture. Let me take it off and show you. Oh no! That dog, Ben, has now been in the pond and he's now found a sock to play with, and that matches our caption. The dog and a sock. Well done, Ready? We've got it on our sound wall to remind us we learned tomorrow. But also, when you go to your tables, I wonder if you can look on your sound mats and can you find your very own on your sound mat.
Okay, a lovely short clip there of an insight into our No Tech Phonics. So now that you've started your Twinkl Phonics journey, it's always really helpful to connect with other people who are also using the programme. Our Twinkl Phonics School Support Group is an exclusive Facebook group just for our UK schools using Twinkl Phonics as their school SSP, and it's a growing community of schools. Really great for connecting with other schools, but also a way of directly contacting the Twinkl Phonics trainers who are on hand to answer your questions, share new resources and events, and provide ongoing support for you as you teach children to read and write using Twinkl Phonics. We also have a range of free live CPD events. Our TeachMeet, 30-minute CPD sessions and network meetings also cover a range of subjects, including SEND, leading phonics, interventions, and phonics in Key Stage 2. Coming up on September 24th, we have a session specifically for parents and carers to gain an insight into the Twinkl Phonics programme. And in the rest of September, we have a 30-minute CPD about using the Twinkl Phonics app, a Twinkl Phonics Leaders Networking event for establishing non-negotiables, and finally, a Twinkl Phonics SEND network event focusing on adapted planning. Our Twinkl Phonics trainers are always passionate about guiding you and your staff on your Twinkl Phonics journey. We do offer bespoke training options designed to meet the needs of your unique setting, whether you're looking for more in-depth training on the fundamentals of phonics, the Twinkl Phonics programme, or applying phonics into Key Stage 2. We've got lots of modules to help you along your way. And if you're ready to get started, do feel free to email us at the email address you can see on the screen to inquire today. Our team are always happy to help and help build that perfect training package for your needs.